The Last of Us Part 1 remake is not worth $70. Hi everyone, it's Dat Boy. Welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'd like to talk about why I think The Last of Us Part 1 remake is not a $70 game. In other words, they shouldn't be asking for that much. Now, this isn't a video of me crying, "Oh, game's so expensive, no buy broke." Boo! Brokey! Sounds like a brokey's problem to me! Well, hate to break it to you, but it do be kinda true. I'm broke. But only that part is true. I'm not crying or anything. My logic going into this video is that to point out whether you can afford thousands of copies of this game or not even one. You're essentially not paying for a $70 package. What you're getting out of this purchase does not convincingly add up to $70. And I'm going to explain why from my perspective. So before going in, I'd like to clarify something. I've not played the remake version, only the remastered version. But considering the facts and information about the remake, I am more than qualified to give takes. So with all that said, let's get into it. Okay, first of all, I want to touch on the good things about this remake, because yeah, while I think it's not worth its asking price, it does not necessarily mean that it's a bad release. Okay, the graphical upgrades are fantastic. A lot of details, upgraded character models and textures, just good stuff indeed. Yup, you can see it for yourself here. The differences are definitely there. Hell, they would literally redo, designs that they find a bit out of place in the original going into this remake, as you can see clearly in this side-by-side comparison here, which is absolutely impressive, and we just gotta give it to them. This is impressive. A graphical redesign and retouch on this level is just impressive. I don't know what else I can say about it. It's just hands down good work, I guess. And yes, some might say that the remake definitely looks better, but for me personally, I think it somewhat looks better, but not necessarily the better looking version here. I mean, sure, the realism and fidelity and whatever you like to call it are all cranked up here to an 11, but the art style is dialed down a bit, well, at least in my opinion. And I would like to point that out. So if you look again at the some of these comparisons here, you would most likely be able to pick up what I am talking about. There are most certainly differences in the color tones. I just love how the colors are graded in the original version way more. It just has, it has more life to it. It just looks way more vibrant and has way more contrast to it. And the way the lighting works here, the technology we had back almost 10 years ago, were not as incredible and as, were not as advanced at what they are today. Basically, the lighting now is just hella accurate. And, looking at this two photos here, or rather two gameplay footages here, you could see the really a more realistic lighting effect in the remake version, whilst a more contrasty, more comic-y sort of lighting situation going on in the original version, which honestly I just prefer way more. And something about the remastered version in terms of all this, the color grading, the lighting and all that, I appreciate way more over the remake version. I don't know, it just has more style to it. It looks real and unreal at the same time, but in a pleasant, eye-pleasing way. If I have to describe it using my personal best choices of words, it would be if a comic comes to life, while getting to keep its style. What makes it a comic as opposed to real life. So it exists, has all this realistic qualities to it, as well as its comic-y qualities. Do I make sense? I don't know. It's just how I personally see it. And I'd like to bring up this particular comment section here where someone has a take that I agree with, and it comes from the same video that I'm using right now. Link will be in the description. And yeah, you can notice that the person in the middle here does not, entirely agree. But point is, there are people like me who does not necessarily prefer the art style of the remake version over the original version, because the original version still has plenty of style going for it. A game does not have to look completely realistic. It just needs style. That is what's so future-proof, when it comes to graphics. Because a game like, I guess, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker won't look too bad in 2022 because of its distinctive, comic-y, anime-inspired, whatever you'd like to call it, unrealistic art style. And style, it's not an argument to be made in this video, but style do indeed make a difference, and it has such a pogger's role in, video games. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to over extrapolate myself here. And so at the end of the day, whether you enjoy the visuals of the original version more or the remake version more, it all comes down to preference, okay? And I respect that, whichever side you're on, okay? Hold up, I forgot to mention the fact that I think I understand why the remake version is visually redesigned and remade the way it is. It is to make it more in line, more consistent with the sequel. But I hate the sequel, so screw that. And the gameplay is obviously smoother due to the newer engine too, so I guess that's also a plus. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all the good stuff I can really give it to the game, because everything else about it is more or less the same. The story, the dialogues, the characters, the sounds, all that remains the same as how they were in the original. They essentially bring us the same good old 1-1 blueprint here. And yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. If it ain't broke, then don't fix it. Everything about the OG is damn near perfectly crafted. The storytelling, the characters, the world are just, all that should be left as is, which they did, and that's a huge dub on their part. But what isn't as much of a dub, however, is charging the price of a game that is essentially brand new. Now, The Last of Us Part 1 remake is not a full-fledged remake. It, like I said, everything that is new about it is the graphics, the visuals, and nothing else. Everything else remains the same. So it is quite unreasonable to charge for $70 here. I mean, this is not on the same level with Resident Evil 2 remake or anything like that. You're not wasting any resources on redesigning anything but the graphics here, and maybe a few visual filters that are 90% of the time useless, and probably, maybe, extra development for the new PS5 controller haptics. Factor all of that in, and I would still only imagine a $40, 50 tops, of a price tag, bro. So right now it's going for 70. So it's like paying extra $20, $30 of overvalued stuff. Like, get your shit together and reevaluate things, Naughty Dog. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bitch, but I'm being a bitch because you are overcharging stuff. So, yeah. Think again, I suppose. Just do reconsider things. So bottom line, not saying that The Last of Us Part 1 is bad and you shouldn't buy it or anything like that. If you got $70 lying around and it literally does not matter, grab the game. It's you're most likely going to enjoy it. But if every purchase decision matters, I'd suggest waiting for the game to go on sale. Because as of right now, in terms of value for money, the remastered version still does it, whilst the remake version is going for a bit much for what it is. Essentially just a direct visual upgrade over the original, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, that's it. It's everything. Oh wait, there's another thing. Screw Nintendo. Ain't no one in their right mind would charge people $60 freaking dollars for an HD remastered version of a decade plus old game. That is unhinged, that is psychotic, and that is uncontrolled. Nintendo, you gotta stop. Please. Like, dear Lord. Stop! But yeah, that aside, like and subscribe if you enjoy your boy's content. I'll be sure to cook up even more amazing and wonderful stuff for you guys in the future. Alright? And that's pretty much it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Ciao.